going on coast to coast roads.
That's what
The remaining areas are along the highway.
and there are 4 areas.
4 areas on the highway
Highway.
and 1 in the coast.
And that is
Jones, could they use the podium, please? I don't want to address
Okay.
Morning again. In regards to the removal of the dump site, I don't hear you give a specific location where you will take those garbage. Yeah. Second, I think that you said that this is starting this weekend, right? For us as the corporation in charge of the solid waste locally, I think solid waste should take in consideration the trucks should cover before they leave the dump site. Reason being, the last time removal of garbage was done, you find out that to make a certain amount of trips, garbage blowing all over on the road from those trucks because they weren't covered down properly. So just take that in consideration. Not just to do 10 trips, but also messing up the highway going down to Kingston. My concern now is the trucks that you have mentioned in regards to the parish. The plans that you have, is it that we are going to get brand new trucks regarding the parish? Because you have mentioned that we have get supplementary trucks, and I do believe that those are the what left from wherever you guys pull them from. Now, the last time I asked Mr. Good regarding trucks, he said that he didn't tell me that the parish was going to get new trucks. So now I'm asking you, Mr. Jones, is it that we are going to get some new trucks, or is it that you guys going to send us some trucks from different areas that you may think need the new trucks?
Councillor Lee, yes. Thank you for your question, Councillor Lee. Alright, so in terms of the location to remove the waste actually be brought to Riverton disposal site. That is one. In terms of the covering of the trucks, I would need to look back at the contracts that we have with the contractors to see if that was a requirement. If not, I will ensure that it's added. Because what will start on the weekend is basically the excavation aspect. And we put in place in terms of water trucks to keep the area wet so that there's not much disturbance from the dust and so on. So I'll address that issue. As it relates to brand new trucks, now the plan has always been to send 3 trucks to St. Thomas. Now what we've done so far, we've sent one brand new truck, one truck that is basically 2 years old, and we plan to send another 2-year-old unit to the parish. Now, we as recently as the last, I think it was in June or July, that we had gotten the trucks. Based on the mix of units that we have, we basically are trying to ensure that they're equally distributed in terms of the brand new units. Now, we have set up a schedule as well that the parish will also get access to the tipper and the crane truck. The parish will actually get access to the tipper and the crane truck as well, to ensure that it's maintained in terms of the removal of dirt, vehicles, and bulk waste as well. And since recently, I think we have removed about, approximately 2 loads of bulk waste from Arcadia. Hope that answers the question.
To protect life, to let us be safe, and then one agency, such as NWC, just starting and just cause a outbreak. Because anybody drive past it. This is a dirty situation. It's really nasty. It's an emergency, and it must be dealt with that way. It can't be a situation that you're going to get all the resources together to actually fix. You have to go there and put some emergency remedy in place, I talk about it all the time, you know, and sometimes people don't like what I say. There's a different standard in this country for government agency versus that of a private individual. If a man running a restaurant and health department recognize him breach, tell me if I breach it, he won't get checked on immediately. He doors them that now can't open. Everybody ever knows that the establishment is nasty, because health department shut it out. Now for government, there are many of them, like I hear Councillor McClure always come and talk about that situation in a female. Just many of them all over. I have one on in the pen. You know, it's sad. It is really sad because government really should set the example. And enough time I see the department serve notice and government even turn a blind eye to it. Because even serving the notice, we're telling that, we know that now really make them act if they're not ready for act as yet.
That's my duty.
But you do your duty, and I understand that. You have to do your duty, that's your part you're playing. But I'm just speaking to all government, and I'm not talking about a JLP government or a PLP government. I'm talking government over the years, what I've noticed since I've been a councillor. They just behave like they don't take public safety into consideration. Because that situation must be dealt with. You don't drive past there and look, well, you have to smell it for your approach. It's really bad. And it's an emergency, and we have to deal with it as an emergency.
I'm listening keenly to your presentation, and I heard you mention moving the garbage to Kingston, Riverton, and Councillor Lee asked whether or not they would be covered, and you said you would have to go back and review the contracts. It is a bit disturbing to me that we're removing garbage, and we do not yet know whether or not we're going to be covering the garbage that we're going to be removing from our dump site here, taking to Kingston, which means that we really don't know the contract. And that should not be, in terms of good public health practices, that should not be where we are removing age-old garbage waste from our dump here to Riverton and not be sure yet whether or not the garbage will be properly handled in the transfer. I think we're exposing ourselves to too much of a public health risk. So I would recommend that you find that out before you even start molesting what is here, and ensure that the proper terms and conditions are in that contract to ensure that our garbage don't end up hurting us, and we don't have to take up the garbage a second time on the highway, as Councillor Lee mentioned.
The Municipal Corporation, members of the media, a very happy new year to all. And these are the highlights for December 2024. With the on and off rains and with the garbage that would have been in the area during this time, would have increased the risk for us of having dengue fever. So we have an AD's premises index of 13%, which is higher than the 5% that you want, according to the World Health Organization. We're taking the opportunity to remind everybody to ensure that they are putting holes in their tin cans before they put them out for garbage collection, ensuring that they're having their drums covered, and ensuring that they are protecting their water sources overall. There's a good 80% of the mosquitoes breeding, the Aedes mosquitoes that are what I refer to, breeds in drums, but it also breeds in the solid waste. So we have to protect both the drums and the solid waste. In terms of screening for the parish, we've been doing screening for chronic diseases. We want to find the illnesses before they are very, very serious, so you can actually manage them properly. And we did 4 such screenings for December 2024. One of which was in collaboration with the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation, where we did a screening at the Mayor's Street on December 15, 2024, where we saw 78 persons who were screened for hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, any kind of risk for stroke, prostate screening, eye screening. All of these were done. For the month, we did a total of 455 persons having been screened. There is no case of COVID-19 at present. We've been looking at that for the last 4 or 5 years. And we're having a little increase in the influenza, which you expect at this time of the year, the colder months. And we are going to be continuing with our vector control activities. Miss Patience, Sponsor Patience, had asked last time that we do vector control activities for her. We've had all manner of issues over the holidays with cases, etc. So we're doing it next week, Tuesday onwards. So for the worldwide component of us, as the Ministry of Health highlighted this week, we don't have any of those viruses that are part of the Chinese outbreak, respiratory outbreak at this point in time. So we don't have any H1N1, any H5N1, any of these viruses, or any of the newer ones that we're recognizing. It's not even new. The human mental pneumonia virus, we don't have that, HMPV. So it's a respiratory virus just like the others. And if you're following just like the ordinary respiratory protection with your mask and hand washing, you should be doing pretty good. So COVID happening was a good thing to teach us how to make sure we protect ourselves against respiratory illnesses. And those are the highlights. I don't know if Chief would like to add anything in particular at this point in time. Oh, I want to highlight also, I'm very, very happy, and the public is going to be far better off with the NSWMA moving those loads or cubic yards or tons from the dump here at Church Corner. Because this has always been a serious risk for the parish, especially with it being so close to the river.
Yes.
So well done to NSWMA, and I'm looking forward to the Municipal Corporation policing this to ensure that the transfer of those cubic yards, tons, is safely done. Because you can't be trying to help yourself and end up being worse off. So well done, NSWMA. That's the transfer, safe transfer. Because it's not just covered also, you don't want it to leak.
Yeah.
Because you have the leachate, which is it's been sitting there for a while and it's breaking down. And you have all kind of bacteria that is in there. And sometimes you may have heavy metals also that are in this. And you don't want that to be leaking, or people are driving behind that vehicle and they're being exposed.
Yes.
So we have to ensure proper containment during transfer. So I'm looking forward to that review as to the contract for it, and that we do the safe thing. So yes, just also wanted to ensure, I'm not allowed to ask questions, so I'm putting it out here. I'm ensuring that we don't have the dump continuing there, because once it's there, the risk to the public remains. So the transfer of these loads should be that we no longer dump in this area. As long as we're dumping in this area, we're putting the parish at risk. And it's not just because there's a new urban center. There are people that live there, and it's people that fish there and all that kind of thing. And you have that leachate into the river, so that's something dangerous, very dangerous. So we need to ensure that this good step forward is sustained and improved upon. Well done, Minister. I'll take questions at this point. Happy New Year, everybody.
Question, Your Worship. And this is rather in the format of a request. I'm sure this council is aware of the state of the town of Morant as it relates to the drainage situation. Sidewalks, streets and lanes, Morant. Now, I don't know how many persons know that Morant is without a central sewage system. Yeah. And you know, that in itself is creating a problem. I'm going to request of the mayor, and it would be such a look, a united look, to see the mayor and the council pour in these areas to see the situation exists in the town. So, Your Worship, I'm going to ask you for an early date so that we could have a look and to remedy some of these problems.
we take 400 load out at about 3 weeks. Every day, me I feel like.
After that, you mentioned schedules in regards to the picking up of garbage. But I think it's even more important for residents to know the days, because that's the only real way we can know if we really have a backlog, or if that one load backlog that you're speaking to is true. And the reason why I say this, if my day is on a Tuesday for my garbage pickup, no, I can't know if the truck is on time unless I know, yes, it is a Tuesday. So I think if we're really going to talk about schedule, which is the right thing to do, it's a correct thing to do, we have to let the residents know. I don't think there's one resident in this parish, let me speak to the west side at all, the west side, that know the scheduled day that their garbage is supposed to pick up. And I pretty much can bet you on that. I had this discussion with Mr. Gooden. Mr. Gooden says it's on the website. Now, we understand from time to time, organization hide things in various places on the website. Some of the time you have to have special app to get to that place, because it's not really there for people to know, It's there for them to, just for protocol. So they have it there. I am saying, it's time now for the people of St. Thomas, the residents of St. Thomas, to know the day that the garbage is supposed to be picked up. Whether it's weekly, whether it's bi-weekly, we can work with it. But we need to know. I was in Portland for the holiday, and everybody up here really know, say, I choose a man, the garbage I come. So they keep the garbage inside, and then choose a man, you say, all the garbage come out, so no dog and all these things that get with us nasty up the place. I am talking about this, I've been talking about this for years now, and all we hear about is a schedule on our website. No, the other day, Mr. Guru showed me on the website, because I couldn't find it, but he could. But my garbage is never picked up on that day in any regular manner. The garbage just come when it want to come. So please, Mr. Jones, please let the residents know their day, and we understand that things can happen from time to time, and maybe it don't pick up on that day, but at least you can look, say, the next day or the next day you're going to pick up. So we need to know the day, and we need to know whether it's weekly or bi-weekly for specific communities.
Partnering with SDC and also with the posters as well, to see if we can get the information out. Also, as you had mentioned, from time to time, we have challenges, because we have currently 2 trucks in St. Thomas. We had planned to put 3 here.
I just rise to support what my other colleagues said, because what I wanted to ask, they have already asked. But I'm just kindly asking you to have a look at Dumfries. I heard you made a grand report a while ago. Right? Yes, Dumfries. Garbage collection there is very irregular, and as we speak, I just got a text about garbage pile up at his building. So kindly have a look at it. Yes. Also, I am very happy to hear about the waste removal from the dump. Because I speak all the while about the pretty urban center, and next door is the dump. Okay, so I am advocating for the removal of that dump. I want to go on record, regardless of everything, I am advocating. You understand that persons gets their livelihood from there, but we have to find another way, okay? Next question, bulky waste. I need you to expound on that, right? Because I want to know where these bulky wastes are taken from and how it is being addressed.
As it relates to bulky waste, so when the inspectors go out, we typically look in terms of some of the areas that we traverse, where there will be old fridges, stoves, washing machines, and so on. Whenever we realize there's a need for a tipper truck, we send in a tipper truck to collect these areas. So typically, these bulk waste, they're temporarily stored at, they're temporarily stored at the church corner side until we remove them to Kingston. So we may collect 3 or 4 loads within the St. Thomas area, store them at church corner, and then remove them into Kingston. So it's also, and it can also be triggered if councillors have areas where there are particular needs in terms of bulk waste collection. They can advise us and we can assist as well.
That's consultation here. There is there's the septic water is right there on the highway. It's a very nasty scene. That's the best way I can describe it for now. Is there any action taken or about to be taken where that water is concerned?
Okay, indeed. As you said, and it occurred a couple of months ago, and at that time, when we made contact with NWC, they came and cleared it. But since this last incident, which is several weeks now, we have been making contact with NWC. At one point, I know that the wastewater officer, Ms. Williams, even sent a video. And we have not had the necessary response in terms of the clearing. It was yesterday that a notice was served and taken to Kingston on the matter.
So Ms. James Cuss from sewage, and she has informed me that they are gathering the resources to start that work very soon. She didn't tell me how soon, but she told me that they are gathering the resources.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a start, right, for road maintenance, because when you look, the last Christmas, the little crumbs, the bushing, I mean, people bush a part of the road, and then the other section of the road is left untidy. So I would need to get some funding to see if I can do a comprehensive bushing of Lead and Pen and Pipe Road. So, Your Worship, we will speak on that.
I would like to wish.
I didn't hear it to Ministry of Local Government regarding the bad condition of the parochial roads in the market division.
I inadvertently missed that matter, madam, so I will leave it and provide a report at the next meeting.
I really can't accept that, you know. I came here today to at least get a response, because it's not that I like the media, you know. Media are personnel are here. Not that I like to go on TV just to talk, right? I go on the media to get attention and to let the residents understand that there are things that I do care, and I want to know that the ministry cares too. Because when you look at the condition of Need and Pen Road, I mean, that road, I don't even know what to say at this time. And Your Worship, I am asking you to just take a visit around to Need and Pen Road, starting from the hospital back road and go around, and you would see what I'm talking about. Phillips Avenue is also another, we call it Pipe Road. When I was a child, it's Pipe Road. It's named Phillips Avenue now. It is in a dangerous condition. And you have a lot of small farmers there, you know, and it is really appalling. I know that all the roads can't be fixed at the same time, but over time, and also the lack of maintenance also is a cause for the deterioration of the road. So I'm gonna ask that some special attention be paid to these roads, right? Yes, the highway is coming and it's coming and we do appreciate it, but we must also remember the arterial roads where people live and farmers. You know, Needham Pen and Pipe Road, they feed the nation. If you look at the market truck going into Kingston, it comes from those areas. And I'm going to ask that we pay some special attention to these roads.
I went through the minutes and I was going through everything. But as I said, I wanted to clarify if you're asking whether there is funding available for the parochial roads. That's what you had asked,
yes.
Right? Right, so we do have funding for parochial roads, so I want to know if it's additional funding you're referring to, or just, because we get funding every month for maintenance of parochial roads. I just want to clarify if that was
Your
the question.
Worship, we have received funding on a monthly basis for maintenance of parochial road. Well, this is my second sojourn here, and I would need some of those fundings, Your Worship, to start at least do a little maintenance as it regards to those roads. So I'm happy that I'm hearing this now. So thank you so much.
PRF, you know, is not what Ms. Essan is saying, you know. The PRF is the monthly allocation, but for the road, it's a different situation. So I'm saying I just want to be clear. The PRF is what clarify, yeah. I want that to be clarified because what you said is not the PRF, you know, it's the actual right. So I just want to be clear.
Yes, and I also want
Page 4. Page 5.
It says Dr. Shaw, it should be Dr. Smith.
Um, 6A, Resedients and Yalas Housing Scheme Road Rehabilitation Program. We'll have the superintendent to take us through that aspect of it.
Morning, everyone. Resedients and Yalas Housing Scheme, what remains the same since the last meeting. The claims for the contractor is now being processed. I think at some point now, throughout this week, I expect money to upload in his account, and then from there we can start the process for retendering for phase 2. But what remains the same as the last meeting.
Through the chair, Felix, in regards to the Yalas housing scheme, when you say the matter remains the same, is the project complete?
The project is complete. Generally, we have to rescope the project to facilitate all the asphalting. So, phase 2 is supposed to include drainage, additional drainage between phase 1 and phase 2. But phase 1 is now completed, total completed. We have a close-out meeting with the citizens, NHT, the councillor for the area. It was an online meeting, and there was no defects as we speak regarding, because the project was basically road rehabilitation, just to asphalt the existing, just to put another layer of asphalt on the existing surface. So it wasn't anything regarding drainage construction and the move for construction. So it complete as per contract. The reason why I asked the question, Mr. Felix, is that the contractor, which is Alcar, there is a bit of concern where I think NHT giving Alcar a total different report from what I'm hearing now, because based on what Alcar is saying is that the council itself holding up the process in regards to, I don't know if it's the phase 2 or what, but there is some lingering between Alcar and NHT, and NHT is saying to Alcar that it is the council holding up the process.
Final payment, because there should have been some outstanding work regarding some name signing for the streets, which the contractor refused because he stated that the scope wasn't clear enough regarding how we should actually install the signage. So there's a dispute between us and the contractor for both project. So this decision was taken for us to pay the contractor for the work completed. So the only thing we have left out of the contract from Yellas is the street signing, the name of the street. But for the work itself, in terms of the road work that is completed, and the only thing we are standing for him right now is the payment for the retention, because they have received all payments for work done so far. It's just the retention, but retention cannot be until the retention period expires. There's no defects. So since we have the site meeting, there is no defects, and we are now processing the claims to pay the retention. And so the only thing remains on this contract is the street signing for the name for the streets, and the council will actually do that. That was omitted from this contract because of the dispute with the contract and the back and forth, and it may never reach nowhere. So we decided to pay for what is completed, we will finish up the balance of work, which is the street signing. Nothing else in this contract. So we don't owe him anything on the project away from the retention. Nothing else on the project.
So Felix, in regards to the street signage, the Yellas Housing Scheme Citizen Association, very active. Those are some retired teacher, retired, you name it. So I do believe, based on what you're saying now, is that those members within the Citizen Association, they are more concerned about the names of the different streets. Because remember, you know, as I said, in regards to their Citizen Association, they take that much in consideration, you know, in regards to the mailing of their mails is very important with the names. So I think they are bringing NHT under pressure now. NHT is to the contractor. So what you're saying now, I do believe that the council itself, not only the Yellas Housing Scheme, but in general, when we have subdivisions, I think we should never approve a subdivision without those developers giving the name. Because you find out that you have to remember that if you have prospect and you're doing a subdivision in the approval without giving a name. Someone on Oxford Road with lot 5 can end up with lot 5, but because that area don't has a name, then you find that problem. So the council need to look at that matter.
That is not the case with the name of the streets already. They are exist. It's just we are just replacing them because sometimes when they put up the street side, sometimes they get displaced or accident and removed. But the problem with the contractor is that he's saying that when he was doing his scope of work, he was doing his pricing for the scope. He never include to erect post and put on signage. And they are saying that how can you install a sign without erecting posts? So there was a conflict. So the name exists. The Sixth Association is willing to furnish us with the names. So we don't have any problem with erecting the sign with naming of the street because all the streets name already exist. So it's not like we are going to rename any streets or rename any road. It's just to erect up the original signage.
I heard the superintendent of works stated that the matter remained the same and you're going on to phase 2. No, I don't know, I'm not an engineer, but I would have thought that if there's a road project, that the drainage would have been the first thing to attack. No, I have in my phone here the appalling condition of the Red Hills drain, where you have hundreds of citizens living in Red Hills. And I think that scheme is one of the oldest schemes, and this drainage system is a problem. Whenever it rains, a number of persons' houses are flooded out. So I would have thought that this drain would have been a critical one and would be on the priority list even before the contractor think about doing the surface. Be that as it may, a part of the surface has been done, so I'm going to ask you, Superintendent, and I'm going to ask this council to ask NHT to really treat this matter as a priority. And I also want to say, and I want to achieve something here in the life of this council very, very soon. I don't intend to be here for very long, and I need to at least achieve something for the residents of Red Hills Housing Scheme. Not for me, not for the People's National Party, for the residents of Red Hills Housing Scheme. So I crave your indulgence, Superintendent, to really advocate, assist me in advocating for this. Because I thought that the drainage would have been, I mean, it's crumbling, it's see right here. I can share the photograph with you, okay? So, that's my 2 cents.
It is a priority because it was part of the original scope. But that is what caused the dispute between us and the contractor when we are going to re-tender the drainage aspect of the work. Because we didn't want to cancel the contract and re-tender because the project has been re-tendered for more than once before. So we go ahead, do the road surface, and the part of it that is causing a dispute, we are going to re-tender. So basically it is a priority. Because if the drainage is not rectified soon, the work that we did before will basically be in vain. Because without drainage there can be no road. So it's a priority, and we're working very close with NHT, and in short order, it will be re-tendered.
Thank you.
Project, but we are calling about coming to closure. And I'm asking, I don't see it on the minute anymore. I don't see it saying that what I close. I know the drain was the problem. But the issue coming up is that the resident there is asking about the bushing and the cleaning of the street. But we can't do it unless we already have a full takeover. Am I correct? But NHT is saying that they're waiting on the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation to finish and submit whatever they to submit. So I'm asking this meeting to find out what is the position because the residents have been. I drive up there and I see the condition of them. Number one, no garbage truck can don't go up there. Right, they have to come right down on the street. Right? And also the bushing and even the monitoring of those all those who building now are throwing the sand, the gravel, everything on the roadway. So I'm asking what leave for it for what the Paris Council to take over that scheme.
This matter is basically for our infrastructure meeting, but since it is mentioned, the drain is now complete. That is the drain we have to run through the Stokesdale development. So it's just for us to do our closeout report and submit it to NHT, and then we can take it from there. But that matter can be discussed at our infrastructure meeting next week, Wednesday.